Mumbai. In just 5 days, the city received more rain than London gets in an entire year. Visuals of stranded cars and waterlogged railway tracks flooded social media. And so did the familiar chorus. Mumbai's infrastructure has failed again. But within 24 hours, the picture had changed. Most of the city was moving again. So here's the real question. Is Mumbai a city that fails every monsoon, or one that has become exceptionally good at surviving conditions that would cripple most of the world's biggest cities? Let's start with the numbers. In just first 6 days of July, Mumbai's Santa Cruz Observatory recorded 898.4 millimeters of rainfall. July 6 alone saw the season's heaviest downpour. The city receives 2200 to 2500 millimeters of rain every year, and almost all of it falls within just 4 months, from June to September. Need some perspective? Earlier this week, New York received around 100 to 150 millimeters of rain. That was enough to overwhelm its entire drainage system. More than 280,000 customers lost power. Subway services were suspended. Major highways were flooded. Around 700 flights were cancelled. Mumbai received similar levels of rainfall across multiple days. Yet, there were no large-scale power outages. Suburban trains never came to a complete halt. Only a handful of flights were cancelled, and every major highway except one remained operational. Now zoom out even further. New York receives about 1276 millimeters of rainfall in an entire year. Shanghai receives around 1347 millimeters. Bangkok receives roughly 1668 millimeters. Mumbai reaches those numbers in weeks, not months. Statistically, it is one of the rainiest megacities on the entire planet. So why does Mumbai still carry the reputation of a city that fails every monsoon? Part of the answer lies in perception. When New York subway shuts down, it's called an unprecedented climate disaster. When Mumbai absorbs several times that rainfall and continues functioning, the conversation often focuses only on what went wrong. But criticism aside, Mumbai has been building its monsoon resilience for 2 decades now. The turning point came after the catastrophic floods of 26 July 2005. Since then, the BMC has invested more than 3,000 crore rupees in upgrading the city's storm water drainage system. Under the BRIMSTOWAD project, large sections of the drainage network were upgraded from handling 25 millimeters of rain per hour to 50 millimeters per hour. Before this monsoon even began, all 16 major and minor pumping stations were operational. The BMC also deployed 547 dewatering pumps, up from 504 last year, across chronic flooding hotspots like Hindmata and the Andheri subway. Many of these pumps are connected to IoT sensors, feeding live data into a central control room. Combined with an early warning system developed with IIT Bombay, authorities can often respond before floodwaters even reach their peak. Now, one caveat. What I highlighted so far is about recognizing the effort, not claiming the job is done. Mumbai isn't yet beating the monsoon. Every year, people still die. This monsoon alone, 11-year-old Vihan Srivastav died in Chembur after a tree fell on his school bus. Another man died after falling into an open manhole left unsecured by a civic contractor. These weren't acts of nature. They were failures of maintenance, failures of accountability, something that Mumbai new civic body chief Ashwini Bhide also acknowledges.
कभी-कभी ये इंसिडेंट्स इस तरह का होता है, उसको रोकने की जरूरत है कि माइक्रो लेवल पे जो एक ऑपरेशनल रिगर, डिसिप्लिन और मॉनिटरिंग चाहिए, उसमें शायद हम लोग थोड़ा सा वो ध्यान नहीं दे पा रहे थे, तो उसी को हमें स्ट्रेंथन करना पड़ेगा.
As the BMC chief herself admits, while Mumbai has come a long way, there's still work to do. So what can the city learn from places across the world that have already solved many of these problems? After devastating floods in the 1980s and 1990s, Japan didn't just widen drains. It built the largest underground flood diversion system in the world. 5 massive intake shafts, each around 70 meters deep, roughly the height of a 20-story building, capture flood water before rivers overflow into neighborhoods. These shafts connect to a 6.4-kilometer underground tunnel located almost 50 meters below the surface. The tunnel carries water into a gigantic pressure-regulating chamber so enormous, it's nicknamed the Underground Temple. From there, giant pumps discharge up to 200 cubic meters of water every second into the Edo River. That's roughly the volume of an Olympic-sized swimming pool every 12 to 13 seconds. Imagine if floodwater from Hindmata, Sion or Kurla disappeared underground before it ever reached homes or railway tracks. That's exactly what Tokyo engineered. Rotterdam faces challenges remarkably similar to Mumbai. It's built on reclaimed land. Large parts lie below sea level. It battles tidal pressure and heavy rainfall. But instead of relying on one massive engineering project, the Dutch spread the solution across the city. Their most famous innovation is the water square. On sunny days, it's a basketball court, a skate park, a public plaza. But when heavy rain arrives, the entire square transforms into a giant rainwater basin, storing thousands of liters until the drainage network catches up. The city also uses green roofs, permeable roads, and underground storage tanks to slow water down instead of rushing it into the drains. Mumbai already has maidans and public grounds that flood every monsoon. Oval Maidan, Azad Maidan, Cross Maidan. Instead of treating them as flooded open spaces, they could become engineered flood storage zones, reducing pressure on surrounding roads and neighborhoods. Perhaps the most relevant lesson comes from Singapore. Like Mumbai, it has a tropical monsoon climate. Like Mumbai, it receives around 2300 millimeters of rainfall every year. And in 1978, Singapore experienced its own disaster. More than 500 millimeters of rain in a single day, killing 7 people and forcing over 1,000 residents to evacuate. Its response transformed the whole city. Singapore built the Marina Barrage, a dam filled with 9 giant gates. At low tide, the gates open and release storm water into the sea. During high tide, when gravity no longer works, massive pumps force the water out instead. But perhaps its smartest policy isn't engineering, it's law. Today, any major new development in Singapore must capture and temporarily store its own rainwater before releasing it into the public drainage system. Developers can't simply dump runoff into the city drains. The result? In 1970, more than 3,000 hectares of Singapore were classified as flood-prone. Today, the figure has fallen to around 40 hectares, a reduction of almost 98%. Mumbai doesn't necessarily need Singapore's budget. It needs Singapore's regulation and implementation. Imagine if every new tower in BKC, Lower Parel or Powai was legally required to retain its own storm water before releasing it into public drains. That one rule could dramatically reduce pressure on Mumbai's aging drainage network. So what's the real story of Mumbai's monsoon? It's certainly not a story of perfection, but neither is it simply a story of failure. This is a linear island city built on reclaimed land facing one of the most intense monsoon systems anywhere in the world. Every year, it bends under extraordinary pressure, and every year, it finds a way to keep moving. Perhaps that's the real story. Not that Mumbai never floods, but that despite everything it faces, it still functions. The challenge now isn't just surviving the next monsoon. It's deciding whether Mumbai wants to remain a city that reacts to floods or become one that is designed to live with water.